What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I have an album review for you guys for a record that I have seriously not been able to stop playing in the last week or so. Is actually the brand new Front Bottoms album called Going Gray, and I originally wasn't necessarily planning to do a review of this because one, I didn't know if you guys actually wanted me to, and I didn't know if I'd even have the time, but here we are. I kind of needed a way to let my excitement loose and just actually talk about this album because, get ready, I have a lot of good things to say. So this band actually haven't always been something that I was super into, and honestly, even to this day, I can't really get into their first two albums that much, aside from a couple songs here and there, but overall just not really my thing too much. But their last album and this one, of course, are definitely my two favorites by this band by far. The Front Bottoms have a bit of a unique style. They're kind of known for fusing genres. Originally, it was more like folk with emo with a bit of pop punk sprinkled in there, and a lot of that older stuff actually always has reminded me of the band Modern Baseball. I've always kind of related those two bands because I don't really know of too many others out there that kind of sound like that, with these overly literal lyrics of personal accounts and such. But the Front Bottoms have clearly evolved a bit from that folkier, acoustic guitar-driven style to a poppier, more upbeat sound with a lot more synths involved and other electronic elements. And honestly, I think that suits them really well. That's the Front Bottoms that I fell in love with. After loving their last album, Back on Top, I was really curious to see what they had to offer on Going Gray, and I'm seriously still just baffled and kind of taken back at how much I am loving this album. There really isn't a bad song on this in my opinion, just so many catchy choruses throughout this thing. It's super memorable. Front to back, this is a really fun, and I mean fun, it's gonna put a smile on your face. It's gonna put you in a good mood. It's an overall upbeat listen, and I just cannot get enough of it. Like I said, we see the band diving deeper into the synths and other electronic elements throughout this album, most noticeable on songs like Grand Finale and Trampoline, but I really want to commend this band because they're able to add so much of that without completely eliminating their instruments, their real instruments. I feel like a lot of bands lately are getting stuck in this overly saturated effect synth headspace, and it makes it so difficult to hear the real instruments going on in that song, if there even are any. But the Front Bottoms combine those two perfectly. On the closing track Ocean, for example, you still hear that punky electric guitar and the harder drums that play a big role in the song and help to carry it through. Everyone But You does a similar thing with that sound, and even on Grand Finale, which has a ton of electronics in it, you're still hearing the instruments. That guitar is still shining through really well, and I think all of that together just makes for a really interesting sound. Even with the poppy and synthy additions to their music on this record, I feel like there's still a lot of songs on here that older fans will appreciate. Peace Sign and Vacation Town, just to name a few, easily remind me of their older styles. I originally thought it was so odd when I had heard this band the first couple of times years ago, and just hearing their lyrics and the way they write them. There's a lot of stories in there and personal moments and memories, and it's very literal at the same time, which is something I was not used to. It's very casual and just kind of open and out there, and I thought that was pretty weird at first, but now I'm actually appreciating it a lot more. I actually find it pretty entertaining now because I think it reminds you that this band are real people, you know, they go through the same stuff as you, and it makes the listener able to relate to them. For example, on Vacation Town, just as he is kind of reliving these moments that he had back on his vacation or whatever, it really does take me back to my own vacations that I've taken and the feelings I felt during them. And I really admire this album because it explores so many different topics: relationships, breakups, memories, obviously road trips and vacation, and just simple worries and troubles. And I think it's interesting because the way Brian delivers and sings these songs just makes them feel so happy and upbeat when the lyrics may actually be a little darker. It's like, well, this and this went wrong in my life, and this is pretty fucked up right now, and I screwed this up all at the same time, and it really sucks, but let's sing about it in a happy way, and I love that mindset. It's an entirely different type of emo that I can most certainly get used to. Guys, I love this album so much that literally, more than half of it are my favorite songs. Some of my top favorites are Vacation Town, Don't Fill Up on Chips, Grand Finale, Ocean, and Trampoline. But pretty much everything else here I'm really enjoying as well. The only two songs that I don't love are actually the first two songs that open up the record. You Used to Say Holy Fuck and Peace Sign. They both just kind of drag on for me a bit and kind of get monotonous, especially with Peace Sign. And the opening one just feels a little bit long and it's just kind of like the same thing. Not really a big fan of the way Brian sounds on that track. Overall, this is such a great record. Definitely going to be in like my top 10 of the year. Closer to the top, I can easily say right now. And I want to praise this band for their growth. Instead of just doing the same thing over and over, they've found ways to kind of reinvent their sound. And that's how they keep themselves relevant. And I think Going Gray is going to be a huge success for them, at least I hope. There's really a song for everyone on here. Even if you're not into the front bottoms overall, you cannot deny the catchiness of a ton of these hooks. Pretty much every single song is able to get stuck in your head in some way. You're going to be taking parts of it with you when you leave after hearing it. Going Gray really surprised me, and this is actually the album that kind of won me over as a fan of the front bottoms, and because I am loving this album so much, in addition to their last one, I've decided that I'm going to be going to see them live, hopefully in November with Basement. Absolutely cannot wait to hear those songs live. Guys, what did you think of this album, Going Gray, the fourth studio album by the front bottoms? Are you more into this sound or their older sound? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Thanks for watching this today, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.